I could entertain myself for hours just by running the little guy into the fireballs because I like the way he spins around when he dies. I'm so easily amused by that. This is Dragonfire for the Atari 2600, an excellent game, and one that comes with a story. Always love these Atari games that come with stories. Of course, I like the ones that you make up your own stories too, so it's really a win-win situation with Atari games. Let's read the story here. Dragons have driven the royal court from the castle. "Oh, we are lost," laments the king. "Without our vast treasures, we cannot raise an army against these accursed dragons. Our kingdom must now languish under lizards." "Nay, not so, my liege," replied the young prince. "None knows the castle, those many bridges and storerooms better than I. Give me leave, and I shall loot those lizards of their plunder and restore my lord to his birthright." "Brave boy," said the king, but he added darkly, "Beware dread Dragonfire." Now, the game objective is to reach the king's treasure. The prince must run across the bridge and dodge fireballs tossed by dragon hatchlings and rob the dragon of all of its treasure. This is an excellent video game and one that you can see is a lot of fun to play. However, it does have questionable moral values. What they don't tell you is that the financially irresponsible king had a subprime mortgage on the castle and was not able to continue making payments because he spent all of his money on the crap in the storerooms. For instance, this guy bought hundreds of the exact same candelabra, helmets, ceramic jars. Now, when you blow your money frivolously and needlessly like that, you're going to be forced to live under lizards. That's just the way things go. But this naive boy wanting to please his king, of course, has to step up to the challenge and bail this scumbag out. Now, the dragon's just hanging out in the storeroom minding his own business. Like, you don't see the dragon out terrorizing the kingdom, so I don't know what the king is whining about. Presumably the dragon was actually hired to repossess all of the junk that the king had spent his money on to help pay off the loan to the bank. And in part of the deal, the dragon just hangs out in the storeroom and enjoys the diamonds and harps and crowns. And that's what dragons do. Getting back to the gameplay, it's excellent. You have to run across the bridge and dodge the fireballs tossed by dragon hatchlings. That's not too difficult. When you get to the storeroom, things get much more challenging because the dragon's not too happy that you're there and he's trying to shoot fireballs at you and kill you. You have to gather up all the items in the storeroom, and like most Atari games, the first level, the dragon's very slow, easy to dodge the fireballs, and the items in the storage room are of much lesser value than they are in the later levels. One of the things I noticed about this game, of which the object is to score as many points as possible, is when you start getting into the later dragon levels, not only is the dragon moving exceedingly fast, so it's very challenging and a lot of fun to try to dodge the fireballs, but the value of what that dragon has in his storage room varies each time you play the game. Sometimes you get some really cheap dragons later in the game. You figure the dragon would want to have his storage room filled with expensive things like diamonds and the crowns and harps, but occasionally you'll get to one of those higher levels and you're really ready to rock. When you come out of that door, you know what you're about to face is an angry, fast dragon. So you're running to collect all the stuff in the room and you find out that the dragon doesn't have anything cool, that all he has is a bunch of ceramic pots. It's like, why am I risking my life for this? I like this game. Dragonfire is a lot of fun. It's a nice, easy pick it up and play. Couple games here and there. They're fairly short games for the most part. I mean, I figure you really got to be the man to defeat this dragon at some of the later levels because things are moving really quickly. The controls are pretty good. They're not the best on the Atari, but they're far from the worst. Like many games from Imagic, it's well designed, it's well created, the graphics look good, and it's something that's fairly unique. And look at that guy. I mean, he's just sprinting all over that room. I made it out alive on that one. Had to duck underneath some of the fireballs. I'm not sure if there's an ending necessarily to the game. Perhaps the ending is that the financially irresponsible king loses his castle after all, because no matter what you do, you're basically breaking and entering the dragon's storeroom, and he's gonna gun you down. Perhaps the better solution would have been to befriend the dragon, but they don't give you that option, at least not that I found. Anyway, I was glad each time that I was incinerated, not because it felt good from the standpoint that fire burns, but from the fact that that king really didn't deserve to get his castle back anyway. So I take the side of the dragons. I'm glad to see them hanging out in their storerooms full of needless crap that they could just sell at a flea market.